Every Friday at 4:59, Warren Cole clicked his pen twice and read one name out loud. The office forgot how to breathe. On the last Friday of March, the name was his own. Here's how it got there. Warren never yelled. That was the frightening part. The quieter his voice got, the worse the next 5 minutes became. For 6 years, he'd been stealing from everyone in that building, flawlessly, except for one detail he demanded himself. For 11 years, Grace Turner ran payroll at Hallworth Freight in Columbus, Ohio. At home, her father, a retired machinist with a worn-out heart, a mortgage of $1,480 a month, and one rule: numbers don't lie. Remember this detail. 6 years earlier, Grace helped install the time-tracking system. One checkbox asked, "Mirror all raw records to the vendor's off-site archive?" She ticked it, filed the password, forgot it by Christmas. The archive forgot nothing. Then corporate sent a new regional director. Warren Cole arrived with a silver pen, a cold handshake, and a smile that never reached his eyes. In 2 weeks, he knew everyone's salary, everyone's debts, and who couldn't afford to quit. He invented a ritual, the Friday reading. At 4:59, 2 pen clicks. One name read slowly into the silence, the week's weakest link, made to stand while 200 coworkers studied their shoes. Grown adults flinched at a ballpoint. The paychecks changed quietly. The new rounding policy trimmed every shift, always down, never up. 15 minutes a day per worker times 212 employees, a few dollars each, small enough that no single pay stub screamed. Together, about $340,000 a year, pooled under one man's control. 6 years, and nobody looked twice. Then Grace found it on a Tuesday, a 3-cent drift in the ledger, small as dust. She pulled the records and found edits, hundreds, all made after midnight, always at 12:04 a.m., when the building was supposed to be empty. So who was inside at 12:04? The door logs knew. And stranger still, Warren had those logs printed weekly, initialing every page to remind the floor it was watched. Grace kept each page. That was her job. She brought him the 3 cents carefully, the way you hand someone a lit match. Warren studied her a long moment. Click, click. "The numbers are never wrong, Grace," he said, softer than a whisper. "People are." By Monday, her desk was gone. Restructuring, HR shrugged. Her new office? A basement archive room beside the servers. One flickering tube light, an endless hum, footsteps crossing the ceiling. Within a week, she knew his walk by heart. The small things began. Her badge failed at random doors. Beep, red light, try again. The camera above her desk turned overnight until its glass eye faced her chair. Maintenance found no work order. Nobody touched it, officially. Her personnel file started growing, a warning for a meeting she never missed, a complaint from a customer who never existed, signed, dated, filed. Someone was writing a story about her, one sheet at a time. Grace wasn't the author. At the next Friday reading, the name was hers. Grace Turner, payroll, a 3-cent error. He let the silence cut for a full minute, then smiled. Precision matters, people. 200 coworkers studied the carpet. A dispatcher named Roy caught her sleeve. "Drop it," he whispered. "The last man who asked about the rounding was gone in a month. His file said he stole. The file says whatever Warren needs." Quitting wasn't an option. Her father's heart medication ran $412 a month, and the mortgage didn't care. At the bank, a loan officer shook her head. Nothing left to borrow. Grace was cornered, and somebody upstairs knew it. One Thursday night, back for her phone, she saw Warren's office glowing gray, camera feeds flickering on his face. He stirred his coffee, 3 slow circles, spoon ringing on porcelain, watching the empty desks like a man counting property. A week later, at 12:04 a.m., a chair nobody sat in faced a screen that woke up on its own. Grace's login. And $86,000 slid out of the company payroll account while she slept beside her father's pill organizer across town. By 9 a.m., auditors filled the building, and Warren was performing shock. "Check the access records," he said, like a man betrayed. They checked. Her login, her terminal, her basement. His story had its ending. 2 detectives interviewed her behind closed blinds. Embezzlement, a felony, possibly prison. Through the glass, Warren walked past exactly once, slowly, and tapped the window twice with his pen. Nobody else noticed. The tap was for her. That Friday at 4:59. Click, click. He read her name one last time. Grace Turner. Terminated. Security walked her out with a box while 200 people watched. 11 years, carried out in a box that once held printer paper. The dark math came fast. A defense lawyer wanted $15,000 she didn't have. The mortgage letters started coming certified. Her father began cutting his pills in half. To stretch them, honey. That night, Grace believed she would lose everything. Warren's lawyer called with a deal. Sign a confession, repay on a schedule, and the company would urge the prosecutor toward leniency. The deadline, of course, was Friday. At 4:59, even her surrender had to fit his ritual. Her father slid the pen away from the confession. You've told me since you were 9. Numbers don't lie. Make them talk. Grace went still. 6 years ago. A checkbox, a password, an archive that never forgot anything. One phone call and one dusty password later, the archive opened like a tomb. 40,000 edits, untouched, all from the admin profile. Each one exactly 4 minutes after Warren's personal badge unlocked the server room. 12:04. Every night. In her basement sat the box nobody remembered. 6 years of weekly door logs printed on his orders, initialed in his handwriting. Warren had signed the evidence against himself 296 times. Grace didn't go to the company. She went to the Department of Labor, then the county prosecutor, the archive, the initialed pages, the 1204 pattern, and $340,000 a year rerouted into one man's bonus pool. Forensics traced the $86,000 in 19 days. The transfer never came from her terminal. A remote session cloned from her login launched from a home IP registered to a lake house in Delaware County, Warren's Lake House. Warren scheduled a company-wide meeting to announce record efficiency bonuses, his skim pool in a party hat. Friday at 4:59, naturally. But at 4:58, the elevator opened, and 4 federal investigators crossed the floor with 2 detectives, unhurried. Warren clicked his pen twice for silence. He got it, the deepest silence that office had ever produced. And for the first time, nobody in the room was afraid of him. The lead investigator did the reading this time. 6 years, 212 employees, over $2 million in stolen wages, wire fraud, falsified records. Hands behind your back, Mr. Cole. They cuffed him at his own podium at exactly 4:59. Federal law doubled the back pay, $4.2 million, split among every worker he'd shaved. Roy got $19,400 and cried at his kitchen table. Warren's defense? The numbers are wrong. The judge didn't blink. The numbers, Mr. Cole, are yours. The charges evaporated. The cloned session saw to that. Corporate cleaned house and begged Grace back to run payroll at double the salary. Her first memo, the Friday reading, is discontinued. She signed it with his pen, then threw it away. Her father's pills are paid for. The mortgage is current. And Fridays at 4:59, the office just goes home. Karma doesn't shout, friends. It waits in the archive, keeping perfect records until somebody presses print. Subscribe. Tomorrow's story runs colder.